cuidado, Fernando. Fernando, quédate quieto.
Por favor. Señorita.
As I noted last time, Mr. Giles, you've an eye for photography, but not much of a nose for news. These are familiar sights. There's not a unique perspective in the bunch.
Sir, I'll take pictures of anything you want. If you hire me, anything and everything.
We're not in the business of teaching photographers how to think. Come back with a new portfolio, something fresh, and I'll give you another look.
Gentlemen, anything else?
Just a side order of humble pie.
Nothing else right now, Ned, thank you. Everything is a joke to you.
I've spent all morning telling you I'm sorry, Dad. I've run out of ways to say it.
My friends all burst with pride when their sons are written about. But I have to pay off reporters to keep your name out of the papers.
She said she was 19. A gentleman takes a lady at her word.
That girl was no lady, and she never will be. And you, I'm afraid to say, are no one's idea of a gentleman.
I may have my failings. I may have more than my share, but I am a gentleman at all times. You have to give me that. At least give me that.
The food's getting cold.
What's so fascinating? To rescue the young son of a Mexican rancher from the clutches of wild Apaches. The company will be a volunteer militia unit of the Mexican army. The expedition will begin in San Paulo, blah, blah, blah. Only gentlemen with strong references will be accepted.
Strong references. That leaves me out.
Leaves you out? Why would you want in?
Photograph it. What a story. That could be my ticket to a job at the Tribune.
Bunch of rich idiots riding to the rescue on their polo ponies? Sounds more like something for the funny papers.
No, it doesn't have to be that way. It can be heroic. Stuff of legend. Like the charge of the Light Brigade. Only with a better ending.
Are you coming to the office? Or do you have a rendezvous at your favorite speakeasy?
I'll see you at the office, Dad. You really think I could be heroic?
Absolutely. Of course, a gentleman needs a valet. I could be your valet, Mr. Phillips.
Why would you want to do that?
Because you're going to let me bring my camera.
We've reserved you a lovely suite, Mr. Phillips, with an adjacent room for your man.
Thanks.
I trust your train trip was satisfactory, sir?
Well, they have to be nice to me. My family built the railroad. Thank you.
This room is bigger than the house I grew up in.
What? It's time to unpack. Me. Unpack me.
Sorry.
Start with this one here. Glasses? You will join me.
Heck yes. Kind of Indian hooch. Before this trip, I'd only had bootleg stuff.
Hey, we live to tell the tale. Oh, leave it. I'll unpack myself. I'll just botch it up.
It was about an hour before the meeting in the lobby. Would you mind if I took my camera down and started getting set up?
If anyone gives you a hard time, just invoke my family name. That usually shuts most people up. Door!
Wade Jackson, San Paulo Daily Dispatch.
Ned Giles.
Who are you shooting for, Ned?
I'm just freelance.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe I gotta go along on this. Chasing Apaches on horseback through the godforsaken Mexican wilderness.
Do you have to go?
I'm the stinky newspaper's only shutterbug.
I could do it. I could photograph the expedition if you don't want to.
Not a serious offer?
Yes, sir. Yeah, unless you don't think that I can.
Sure you can. Hell yes, of course you can do it. You, got any actual experience?
Well, for the past few years, I belonged to a camera club back in Chicago.
Never mind, kid. Look, when we sell this idea to my editor, you better let me do all the talking, okay? How much does this thing weigh? 40, 50 pounds?
I don't know, probably.
Useless for an expedition. By the time you set up a shot, it'd be lost. Look, tell you what. I'll loan you one of mine. It's light and fast.
It's very generous. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very
I'm
much.
not being generous. I want to make sure you come back with some damn pictures. Hey, look, there's my editor. Remember, you're a stringer for the trip. Got it? Come on. Make sure you get a nice shot of the mayor and the colonel.
You all know the story of poor little Geraldo Huerta, torn from the bosom of his family by bloodthirsty Apaches, his poor mother murdered in the process. Little Geraldo's father, Senor Fernando Huerta, wants us to help him recover his beloved son. And so, sir, we will not rest until your son is safe again in your arms. And now I'd like to introduce the Supreme Commander of our joint Mexican-American forces, Colonel Hermenegildo Carrillo. Thank you, Colonel. Thank you. Our volunteers have begun to arrive, and they represent some of America's most prominent families. And we are very fortunate to have with us today a young photojournalist named Ned Giles. He's here in San Paulo on special assignment for the Chicago Tribune.
I think I got some good shots.
That's swell, kid. You're doing great.
I'd like to introduce Police Chief Gatlin.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Giles.
Likewise.
I'm also Director of Personnel for the expedition. You'll want to mention that in your article.
And if you could mention some of the great deals on real estate we have here in San Paulo, I'd sure appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Mr. Giles,
Hello?
I'm Margaret Hawkins. The expedition has allowed me to come along as its unofficial anthropologist. What I really am is a graduate student at the University of Arizona.
Don't tell him too much, miss. Big city reporters like Mr. Giles like to play fast and loose with the facts.
Mr. Giles seems to have an honest face.
Oh, they all do. Tolly Phillips. The Railroad Phillipses. May I buy you a lemonade, Miss Hawkins?
Well, I can buy my own lemonade, thank you, but you're welcome to join me if you like.
I'd like.
Mr. Giles.
Rich guys always get the pretty girls.
Well, this is a bit creepy. Why are you staring at me?
I poked my head in and saw you were alone, so I decided to wait for you to wake up.
It's always alone. What were you expecting?
The anthropologist?
Miss Hawkins paid for her own lemonade and then retired to her room, her virtue intact. Don't smell my breakfast. Did you order up my breakfast?
Well, that's kind of what I want to talk to you about.
My breakfast?
No. I mean, no, all of it. As you know, as you heard, I was hired by the local paper to cover the expedition, which means I won't have time to be your valet.
This is your version of giving me notice?
Yes. And by the way, I appreciate you not exposing me last evening, and I'll pay for my room.
I'm not that petty, so just shut up, okay?
Okay. Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Phillips.
No, it just sounds silly, what with you being a big-time Chicago reporter and all. Call me Tolly.
Okay. Tolly?
But before you abandon me, ring down and order us up a decent breakfast.
Hello.
Mr. Giles, you're a reporter. Well, it's quite the spectacle you have to cover here. I was just wandering around getting a sense of it. Rich men from all over the country arriving in private motor cars, private train cars, private airplanes. I think some of them even brought their own polo ponies. There's a polo match going on right now in the rodeo grounds.
I think I'll pass.
You know, if you're interested in a real story, there's a pair of Apache scouts who were recruited from the reservation. They've been hired to guide the expedition into Mexico. And one of them is an older gentleman who says he scouted for General George Crook back before the turn of the century.
Wow. You've got this anthropology thing pretty well down.
I'm trying. See, I'm writing my dissertation on the Bronco Apache. This is the first time I'm in the field.
Well, maybe we can compare notes as this thing goes on.
I'd like that. Look, if you're interested in interviewing the Apache scouts, they're camped by themselves, just outside of town.
I will. They're friendly, right? They're friendly Apaches.
Well, they're certainly friendlier than the ones we're going in search of.
Good, thank you.
How are you? Morning.
Excuse me.
What do you want?
You wouldn't happen to be one of the Apache guides, would you?
What were you expecting to see? War paint?
Oh, I don't know what I was expecting. Well, yeah, I was expecting something a little more traditional. You know, my name is Ned Giles. I'm with the local paper. That's okay. I was hoping maybe I could take your photograph.
No. If you don't leave here right now, I'm gonna take that camera and I'm gonna smash it.
Well, if you were to do that, you'd have to answer to the San Paulo Daily Dispatch. So funny.
In the old days, we made a point of killing white eyes if they showed fear. We enjoyed torturing them and killing them slowly in order to prolong their suffering. You're lucky, though. You're too stupid to be afraid of me.
Please forgive my grandson. He is an angry young man. It comes from being taken away to the Indian school when he was a boy. But now that he's back on the reservation, he has nothing better to do besides hate white people. But no matter what he says, he's never actually killed one before. I am Joseph Valor, and this is my grandson, Albert.
Hi.
Where do you want us to stand for your photograph?
That would be perfect.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Phillips. May I be of assistance?
I hope so. I'm in need of a valet. The one I arrived with has changed careers.
Well, sir, as you are aware, this is not Chicago. A gentleman's gentleman would starve to death unless he found other employment, as did I.
You're a gentleman's gentleman?
I arrived here with my employer, who came for the fly fishing in October of 1929. While we were here, the stock market crashed, and my employer lost everything. He took the next train back to Boston, leaving me behind.
Oh, louse.
Oh, no, sir. The gentleman's situation was tragic.
How would you feel about returning to your old profession, Mr. Browning? Starting with a foray into old Mexico.
President of Mexico has issued these special hunting permits. These will get you through customs with your shotguns and deer rifles.
I must say, Mr. Browning, I don't understand why you would leave a perfectly good, well-paying position to be at the beck and call of a spoiled playboy.
I am a valet by trade, miss. It's what I do best. And there is great satisfaction in getting to do what one does best.
I'm expected to ride with my peers.
Does anybody care to comment?
Mr. Phillips is correct, sir. No comment is necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Giles. Looks like everything's set up already. I don't know about you, but I'm starved. Did you look inside the mess tent? I don't think the Russian SARS traveled that way.
Oh, I understand they traveled quite splendidly, miss.
Yeah. Look where it got him.
Indeed, sir. Dreadful fate.
Decadence devours everything around it, and eventually it devours itself.
You talking about me?
It was a reference to history, sir.
Oh, I didn't do well at history. I've always preferred the here and now.
So you've abandoned your fat cats to sit out here with working classes?
A person can only have so many conversations about tennis.
Sure.
You should try some of this tequila. It's legal here, but you wouldn't know it from the kick it's got.
No thanks.
Fine. All the more for me. So where's the old Apache and his grandson?
They prefer to keep to themselves.
I guess that's smart with everyone hell-bent on killing Indians.
Not everyone.
Well, guess I'll be the hero at this table. That's why I came on this trip. Be a true blue all-American hero. Right, Giles?
Oh, slaughtering natives has made heroes out of lesser men. Why not you?
Exactly.
Good morning, Mr. Giles.
Morning, Mr. Browning. I was afraid I'd overslept. Everyone would be ready to head out.
Your fear was unwarranted, sir.
Where's Tolly?
Sleeping in. Consuming an entire bottle of tequila struck him as a good idea last evening. The morning has brought a degree of regret.
Miss Hawkins?
I haven't seen her today, sir.
Chief Gatlin. Good morning. When are we moving on?
When the Mexican Army contingent gets here.
When's that?
In a few days, give or take.
A few days. Why are we here now?
So our paying guests can enjoy the hunting and fishing.
White man come out. God damn, every place I go, can't get away.
Margaret!
Oh my God.
I found this Mexican girl laying on the ground.
Ned, she's not Mexican. She's Apache. Is she alive?
Yeah, she's breathing. I'm taking her to the base camp.
No, they'll make her a trophy. Let's take her to Joseph and Albert.
Mexican soldiers attacked an Apache camp 2 weeks ago, not too far from here, killing mostly women and children. Looks like this girl got away.
She needs food and water.
Food and water will not save a broken spirit. If she chooses to die, there's nothing that can be done for her.
We can take her to a hospital. We could bring her by bus back to San Paulo.
Your hospitals cannot save her.
So she's just gonna die? You have no suggestions, nothing at all?
The only chance she has to live if she were taken home to her people.
You could use her to trade for the Huerta boy. Of course, if you let her die, she'll be of no use to you.
Girl's survival is hardly our concern.
No, of course not. What you care about is taking your rich guys hunting and fishing.
Por favor. Señorita, continue. Háblese.
I propose you let the Apache scouts take her back to her people. When your troops arrive, an expedition can follow at a reasonable distance behind. When contact with her tribe is made, a trade could be effected. The girl for the Huerta boy.
The scouts are Indians, too. What's to prevent them from letting her go or joining the Bronco Apaches themselves?
I trust them. I believe them to be men of honor.
Honorable Redskins. That's a laugh.
Police Chief Gatlin makes a valid point.
Ned and I will go along. I'm sure his newspaper would love if he covered it.
What if a trade isn't enough? I mean, what if they kidnap the boy for ransom?
Oh, Ned, they don't want money, they want a tribe. Their people are being slaughtered. Abducting a male child, in time, the child will forget who he was. We'll become one of them, we'll procreate. That's where they are in their struggle to survive.
Giles, I can understand you being crazy enough to do this. You could have material to get you hired by the Chicago Tribune, assuming you make it out of this alive. But Margaret, for God's sake, you don't have to risk life and limb to write a doctoral thesis.
No, but I want to. If contact is made with the Bronco Apaches, it'll be an incredible coup.
Right. You could get their vital statistics while they roast you over the fire.
No one is going to harm anyone. This is the most peaceable way to make contact and the best hope at rescuing the boy.
You should come. Tell her you're a paying volunteer. You could come if you wanted.
I signed up to accompany an army. I'm a college student and a waiter.
I'm sorry, what waiter?
Mr. Phillips was referring to me, miss. Whimsically.
I see. Well, Mr. Browning can stay with the expedition and meet up with us when they do.
Forget it. Margaret, Ned, Godspeed. Send a postcard. See you sooner in the future, but leave me out of this. Browning!
Excuse me, miss. Excuse me, sir.
What if they're not butchered and fed to the coyotes? What if they succeed? What if they find that little boy without me? Then I'll have come here for nothing.
They did invite you to join them, sir.
To face hostile savages without an army to protect me.
To rescue a kidnapped child without any bloodshed.
Ned.
What the hell's he doing?
He's the medicine man.
Oh, brother. It's getting nuttier by the minute.
Albert.
Señorita. Take the girl for a day's ride and make camp. If she recovers sufficiently to travel, you move on and attempt to make contact with the Bronco Apaches. Comprende?
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
De nada.
Tolly.
Good morning, all.
What are you doing here?
I decided to cast my lot with the advance guard.
Traveling late, I see.
Just because we're entering the heart of darkness doesn't mean we have to be barbarians ourselves.
Mr. Phillips, your father will have all our heads if anything happens to you.
Nonsense. My father would like nothing better than for me to be captured by the Apaches and staked to an anthill. Don't worry. Even if I disappear without a trace, you'll still get your $30 a day. My father's good for it.
Are you coming voluntarily, Mr. Browning?
Indeed, miss. In fact, I insisted on it.
needs water. This is our last chance. If she does not drink, she will die. Dininsida and Debachiyo Shnadikai.
Wait, what are you doing? She's gonna drown.
Leave her. We have no choice.
She's listening. She understands him.
Of course. She's in Day. One of the people.
Dininsida and Debachiyo Shnadikai. Oh, to do Sanglera. Nadashniako.
Tina Tinchu.
Shikosokose. Dohanida Koge. Ganshi Sene. Hawaii Shnadikai.
Hantuaina Isakai.
Shichu Nageshi. Ishna Aratsila.
This is very impressive, Ned.
Well, don't forget, he caught them with my fine bamboo fishing rod.
I was referring to Ned's cooking skills.
Basics I picked up here and there.
Nah, don't be modest. Big-time journalists like you must have been in some of the most exclusive kitchens in America.
Will the Apache gentleman be joining us for dinner?
I'll go find out. We have enough trout for all of us.
Apache don't eat fish. Consider it unclean.
Of course. I should have known. I'm glad my professors aren't here.
I'm glad too. I hated school.
Will you join us, Mr. Browning?
It's not my place, miss.
You're off the clock, Browning. Grab a seat.
Thank you, sir.
And around this campfire, everyone is equal. You don't need to refer to anyone as sir or miss, unless, of course, you want to. You don't need to wait to be asked a question in order to speak, and you may express any opinion you wish on any subject whatsoever. Understood?
Thank you very much, miss.
Brandy?
Very kind of you, sir. Thank you. Your health. Taking you up on your invitation to speak, miss, I'm fascinated by your study of anthropology. I was, somewhat of an amateur ethnographer myself while in Africa serving Lord Crowley. I was struck by the difference between the...
Miss Hawkins invited you to speak, Browning. I don't think she expected a lecture.
I'd like to hear what Mr. Browning was saying.
Well, Mr. Browning isn't going to say anything else, not after being shut up by his employer. But I can imagine what Mr. Browning must be thinking.
I think it's getting late. With your permission, sir.
Night, Browning.
Good night, miss. Sir.
Good night, Mr. Browning.
Well, we know what Margaret thinks about me. What do you think about me, Giles?
I think you're kind of drunk.
An astute observation. You could be a real journalist someday. So you're not gonna ask what he meant by that?
I assume it has to do with your not being a real journalist.
I am. A journalist.
Really?
Yeah.
How many assignments have you had?
Counting this one? Not much of a piker. You spotted it right away.
Back in San Paulo, you offered to share notes while we were on the expedition. No reporter would share his notes with a stranger.
I'll see you in the morning.
Don't. You're starting out. That's all. I haven't even done that much. My whole life until now has been lived in school. My mother died when I was 7. She had gone to South America with my anthropologist father and contracted malaria. He stayed on and lived there in the Amazon with a people whose existence was unknown to the rest of the world until we encountered them. I haven't seen him in all this time, and yet I invoked his name to get accepted by this expedition. Women aren't usually allowed to field study. So that's my story, such as it is.
More exotic than mine. My folks died in the big influenza epidemic. I was sent to an orphanage, which wasn't as bad as it sounds. They were pretty nice there. I went to work at 16 as a dishwasher. And I saved up to buy a camera.
Why?
When you see something, it kind of isn't real until you tell somebody. I haven't had anyone to do that with, so taking pictures makes it real for me. Does that sound strange?
Not at all.
I wish you liked me, Margaret. I'm actually quite a fine fellow.
I don't dislike you, Polly. It's your class I have problems with.
And you're as much of a snob as they are, just in reverse.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
You should. You're an anthropologist. You're supposed to like everybody.
And where did you get that idea?
I made it up just now.
All right, then.
You mind?
Oh, I've had my picture taken many times before.
How'd you first become a scout?
Well, after we surrendered to General Crook, we were taken to live in the agency in San Carlos. It was a terrible place. Hot, dry, no game to hunt. And when the rations that were promised us by your government never came, some of us became scouts. General Crook took good care of us. And it was the only way we had to be men, be warriors.
To hunt down their own people.
My grandson believes that I am a traitor.
The scouts were promised a reservation of their own, but instead, when Geronimo surrendered for a final time, my grandfather and the other scouts, along with Geronimo, were held as prisoners of war for 27 years.
Well, if you hate the whites so much, Albert, why are you helping them now?
I'm not here to help the White Eyes. I'm here because my mother asked me to watch after my grandfather.
And you, Mr. Valor, why'd you agree to be a scout on this expedition?
Yeah, some White Eyes came from here to our reservation to ask if any of the old-time scouts were still around. I'm the last one. Now, I have a chance to do what I once did. To be who I once was. For one last time.
Uh-oh, Giles. Must be her type.
Little miss.
Candy or flowers. Can't go wrong.
Tobias na Tanjira.
Da, no quidike shechu. Negeshi. Kawayu inch Diego shnadikai.
What is that?
We're in Apache country.
So it's a boundary marker?
Apaches don't make boundaries.
Some sort of message, isn't it?
Saying what?
You know we're here. They've been watching us.
Hey, maybe we shouldn't build a fire.
They already know we're here.
Yeah, I'd rather be slaughtered in the dark. I hate the sight of blood, especially mine.
They have no reason to harm us. We're bringing the girl back to them.
Let's hope they're as logical as you are.
So the White Eyes slaughter the natives and steal their land, and then they hope they're logical?
Ja ina bisnakai.
Inda yashtom.
An inda yako ego.
Koyush nanshkai. Shmakishate bishko nada miste.
Inda bishi ikebi itan golin. Tego nischego de katanka.
Da! Bishichina unikune.
Ishka aje ona kaigo de nada deschi. No ke ishkaigo shako anishkle.
Well, this is just great. Our bargaining chip just played her own hand.
You didn't see or hear her, Joseph?
Apache come and go silently like ghosts.
Well, she could turn into a real ghost, what with there being a price on Apache scalps.
Well, their people are nearby. They'll find each other. We must go back now.
But we don't know that she's with her people. She could be hurt. She left here on foot. Anything could have happened.
This is her country. If her people found her, they won't allow us to follow.
Our guide has spoken. I'm with our guide.
Why don't we just go a little ways, just a little farther, and then if we see no sign of her, we can turn and come back.
I vote we go back now.
Nobody called for a vote.
Hey, I'm the only paying member of this group. I can vote anytime I want, and I get the only vote.
Well, perfect. Then goodbye. You'll be missed.
May I speak?
Please do, Mr. Browning.
I think we would do well to stay together. And I see no harm in Miss Hawkins' suggestion of exploring a little further ahead before turning back.
All right. We will travel half a day onward, but no more.
I respect that you're worried about the girl, but I'm worried for you.
It's very thoughtful of you, Albert, but you really don't need to.
I do need to. Because no one else will. Not even you.
I'm not afraid.
That's why I am.
What's the holdup?
Nothing.
What was he saying to you?
He's just concerned for our safety.
Well, he should be. It's his job.
Non è! Non è!
Okay.
Continua! Tash! Anna! Isjani! Isjani! Nektisni! Durinara! Nanna!
Unhand her, sir.
Drowning! Tash!
That man came with us to save your life. This is how you repay him. We didn't come here to hurt anybody. Joseph!
She, I hate when sleep. She might say on zone. teen Celine Doneseda. The station. Andoa Lechu. Ike and De. Doneseda. Ashto.
Indigana che hoshna. Inastanhi, ishna ashlahi, churashe, shako shaile. Indandehi, ishna. Toknigo!
What's happening?
They want us to go with them.
And then what?
Hashe.
I don't know.
Spencer, try to get him.
You okay?
Look to see.
Got him? Here, listen.
Browning, can you walk?
It was very chivalrous of you to come to my defense, Mr. Browning. You'll be all right. I'm all right. Thank you.
Please, Mr. Phillips, just leave me by the side of the trail.
Forget it, Browning. You're gonna see how an honorable employer behaves.
Ned.
Thank you.
Incredible.
It's a traveling camp. Their home must be up in the mountains.
You mean we're not at our destination?
No, we're there. This is just as far as they're taking us.
You made it alive, Mr. Browning.
Much obliged, sir.
Is that who I think it is?
He looks just like his picture.
Don't all look at once. But the Huerta kid is standing over there with the women and children.
So how do we bargain for him now?
We'll figure something out in the next few days.
No, you need to figure out how you're gonna get out of here by tomorrow morning, with or without the boy.
We can't leave without the boy.
We plan on killing you in the morning. 3 of you.
Will fishing ka?
I told them their fate.
Telling them will not change it.
Nomadic people don't imprison their male captives. They kill them. Is that their intention? You know more than you've said.
You're right. About all of it.
And the leader? What does he have in mind for me?
To be a slave. And bear his children.
So how do we get out of here?
There is no escape. The white men will be dead in the morning. And we will be captives for the rest of our lives.
Please, gentlemen, please don't fuss over me. I'm perfectly fine.
It's no fuss, Brownie. Giles and I are competing to prove who's more honorable.
It's a tie, sir. Definitely a tie.
Just rest if you can, okay? Mr. Browning?
After tomorrow, the three of us will be facing eternal rest.
Enough of that. We're gonna be out of here before then.
Huh? You gentlemen have a plan.
Yeah, sure. Sure we have a plan. We're just working out the details.
No, no, stop. What are you doing?
Are you all right?
I'm okay. No one has hurt me. How is Mr. Browning?
Sleeping. He doesn't look so good.
Your grandfather is resigned to the deaths of our friends tomorrow. Is that how you feel, too?
Well, it should be. I'm full-blooded Apache. But I went to your schools. I was taught to value the lives of white eyes far beyond their actual worth.
Thank you very much.
I didn't mean you.
I'm white.
You're different from other whites.
Yesterday begon sihiwa.
Ijudan shonihi. Bahanstosla.
Hanyandi hido ishlara.
Albert, would you ask her which one of these is her mother?
Atihi. Namahati.
Shmagashatayana salara. Nara sme.
Her mother and sister were killed by Mexican soldiers. That's how she's been separated from the tribe.
You poor child. What is she called by her people?
Chide.
Chide.
It means blackbird.
My little blackbird.
Hante Nishi.
She wants to know your name.
Margaret.
Margaret. Hante Akojeko.
She wants to know what your name means.
I'm afraid it doesn't mean anything. It's just a name.
BBG. Jonhihi.
Justične, again.
Well, Margaret, I see you've gone native. Well, native of what, I'm not quite sure.
I think you look beautiful.
Thank you, Ned. Everything here is so eclectic. Stolen, I imagine, over the years from raids on Mexican villages.
I hate interrupting your
ranches.
dissertation, but have you forgotten that your friends are scheduled to be murdered in the morning?
No, I haven't forgotten.
Hey, it's what she does. Hey, if they hadn't swiped my camera, I'd be taking pictures right now.
Well, if you're lucky, you'll find your camera before dawn, and then you can photograph your own disembowelment.
called India 1. He's the unofficial leader. He doesn't seem very popular. They're afraid of him.
I'm the idiot who had to go and bring my best apparel into the wilderness.
Anything they don't use right away, they'll just throw out. We'll get your camera back. And your film and your notebooks.
Just give it to Margaret. She'll find a use for it.
Don't be such a fatalist, Ned. A way out will present itself.
Albert, how will they do it? Kill us, I mean.
The women will do it. And this way they'll avenge the attack on the village by the Mexican soldiers.
But how will they do it? Will it be quick or slow? Painless or excruciating?
It will be long. As painful as possible.
Albert, stop. It's not going to happen. Think of something.
The Spanish came up from the south, thousands of them in their suits of armor. They slaughtered and enslaved our people. Those who survived hardened into a nation of raiders and warriors. We raided the missions and the presidios, killed the soldiers and the black robes, took their stock, and made captive the women and children. In this way, we drove the Spanish finally from our land. And so for a time, we ruled this country that others called Apacheria. Now, this is all that's left of us.
I should have been able to protect you. Some hero I turned out to be.
I think you've been very courageous. You and Tolly.
I heard my name. What fresh insult did I miss?
She was commending our courage.
Oh. This is what it takes to get a kind word from the lady anthropologist.
You have all shown courage.
Oh, please, don't you start getting sentimental. Figure a way out of this. Found my cognac.
Just what we need.
This might not be a bad thing. If you live to see them crazy drunk, most of them will pass out cold.
Yeah, and then we'll make our big escape.
That'd be a good time, yes.
What's happening?
You've been saved. The girl was doing the marriage dance. They can't kill you if she's chosen you to be her husband.
Gee, maybe we could have a double ceremony. Your wedding and our funeral.
I had no idea what was going on.
He knows that now.
So, when is this wedding supposed to happen?
Apaches are pretty casual about these things. You're married.
But I don't want to be married. Not to her. She's a kid. She's an Apache.
You'd rather be dead than married to Apache.
Albert, he didn't say that.
Yes, he did.
No. Come here. Come here.
Rest, grandfather.
I was trusted to be their guide. And look where I led them. I have no right to sleep.
You told them to go back.
But I let them go forward.
Just try and get some sleep. All we can do now is wait.
Thank you, my grandson.
I wish you'd eat something, Mr. Browning. It really is quite tasty.
Even I clean my plate, and you know how finicky I am.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Browning, you were trying to tell a story the other night. Or relate something. Something about Africa. I'd like you to tell it. I really want to hear it.
Oh. Oh, dear. I don't remember, sir.
I made you clam up. But I want you to talk now, to say what you wanted to say.
I can't recall, sir.
Mr. Browning, you would have made a good Apache. Keep your thoughts and feelings to yourself.
I take that as a compliment, sir.
No offense, Albert, but I haven't noticed you keeping your feelings to yourself.
I've spent too much time with your people. Blah, blah, blah.
Conversation is what separates humans from the animals.
All living creatures communicate in one way or another. Perhaps language is overrated.
We didn't speak the same language. She spoke French. I only knew a few words, but it didn't matter. Words didn't matter. It was lovely. The whole time. Such a brief time. I loved her, you know.
Browning? Browning? I'm sorry. Which one of you was it? Which one of you hit him with the rock?
You want me to let you go?
No.
Stay here.
Untie him, Ned. This is it. We should go. All of us. Now. Come on. Boy. We have to get the boy.
Hurry.
Margaret. Grandfather, come on.
Come on.
Got him!
Ned, hurry.
Listen, I'm gonna take you to your papa, okay? Ned.
Tali.
No!
Non è!
Go. Go!
No, Albert, we're not leaving without you.
Ned, damn it, take her, go! Come on.
Joseph?
Take her, Ned. Get away while you can. Now!
DJ, don't stop. Go! Hey! Saddles! Put the saddle on the horse. Come on! Go.
Look, there's your father.
Geraldo!
Gracias.
Mr. Phillips and his valet did not survive.
No.
So there's no one up there but Apaches.
Our guides are still there. Mr. Valor and his grandson Albert?
Like I said, only Apaches.
My troops will be here tomorrow, ready to move ahead. If any of your guests wish to join us, they're still welcome.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? The boy's here. We brought him back.
The wild Apaches have been terrorizing this region long enough. Now we can end it.
This mission was organized to rescue a kidnapped child. You can't just go up there now for no good reason and slaughter Apaches.
Oh, absolutamente, Senorita Hawkins. Now there is no reason not to.
Go to the mess tent, get yourself something to eat, and have a good rest. You'll guide us back there when the army gets here.
I feel as rotten about it as you do. But there's nothing we can do about it now. Tali is dead. Albert's probably dead and his grandfather is old and won't live long anyway.
We can't just assume that Albert is dead. I mean, he was alive the last time we saw him.
He was about to fight a brutal savage to the death. If I had to put my money on one of them...
Are you really that unfeeling, or are you just afraid to go back?
Go back? We barely got out of there. You want to go back?
Albert and Joseph, if they are still alive, will be killed by soldiers. Same for the girl, just like her mother and her sister were. They will die if we do nothing.
We took her back to her people. Whatever happens now is not our responsibility.
It is our responsibility. It is. It wasn't, but it is. It's our responsibility because we can warn them. We can give them more time to escape, to go back into the mountains, rejoin their tribe.
No. Call me a coward, you call me whatever you want, but I refuse to go back to a place I barely escaped from. I'm sorry.
Ned? Where's the rifle, Ned? I need it.
For what?
I'm going back, Ned.
No, you're not.
You have no say in this.
Stop it! I am not gonna let anything happen to you.
I'm going back, Ned.
I hope I don't have to use this.
Joseph. Hello, Blackbird. Is he...
Margaret.
Albert.
You're alive. Does that mean...
My grandson is now looked upon by these people as their leader.
Polly and Mr. Browning.
Where'd you stick Indio Juan?
Apaches do not bury their dead. Hindu One is now one with nature.
Nature can have him.
We came here to warn you.
The soldiers will be coming.
Well, the Mexican boy...
Boy's out of the way. Now they can come and do their worst.
Then we must leave here. Go into the mountains to the Apaches' rancheria where soldiers will not come.
They can all do that. You and Albert come with Margaret and me.
My grandfather intends to stay with the people. So do I.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Margaret, tell them.
I'm going with them, then.
When did you decide this?
Just now.
I don't understand.
I know how it sounds. This is my chance. It's my chance to write the definitive study of the Bronco Apaches. They'll vanish one day, and their stories will vanish with them, their history, their culture. I can help preserve it to some extent. I can try, at least.
Talk sense to her, please.
You should understand by now that Miss Hawkins knows her own mind.
see you again?
Ever is a long time. It's longer than their world will last.
One last picture?
Of course. Oh, Chide. It's all right. Come join us.
So what's become of them?
I don't know. I'd like to believe they're still surviving and safe from the outside world, at least for now.
The photos are beautiful. And you had some other nice photos in the Tribune last week of the Great Lakes fishermen.
There's a lot we don't know about the lives of other people. There's a lot more worlds for me to explore. I'm sorry, would you excuse me for a minute? I was hoping you'd make it.
He cuts a heroic figure in your stories and in your pictures.
He is a hero.
He died to prove himself to me.
No, he lived to prove himself. He didn't mean to die.
I'd like to buy this.
It's not for sale.